Assalamu alaikum. Before we were born into this world, before we had bodies, before we spoke our first words, did our souls already know God? The Qur'an unveils a profound moment before earthly life when every human soul bore witness to the Lordship of the Almighty. وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَىٰ شَهِدْنَا أَنْ تَقُولُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّا كُنَّا عَنْ هَذَا غَافِلِينَ. And remember when your Lord took from the children of Adam, from their loins, their descendants, and made them bear witness against themselves, saying, Am I not your Lord? They said, Yes, indeed, we bear witness, lest you should say on the day of a resurrection, Indeed, we were unaware of this. This powerful verse, known as the verse of the covenant, reveals that every human soul testified to God's sovereignty before stepping into this world. But what does this covenant mean for us today? Was it a literal event in a hidden dimension, or was it a timeless truth still alive within us? Why don't we remember it consciously? How does this ancient testimony connect us to God and shape our spiritual responsibility now? So in today's reflection, we will explore 1. The meaning of the covenant. Is it literal or symbolic? 2. How every human carries an innate awareness of God known as Fitra. And 3. How this testimony shapes our accountability and spiritual journey. So let's reflect deeply with sincerity and humility. God says in the Qur'an, Alastu bi rabbikum qalu bala shahidna. Am I not your Lord? They said, Yes, indeed we bear witness. This verse describes a moment when every soul affirmed God's Lordship. Some scholars see this as a literal pre-earthly gathering, a real event outside of time when human souls testified directly to their Creator. Others, including Allamah and Tabataba'i, interpret it as an ongoing living reality, an awareness written into the very fabric of every soul. The covenant is not simply a forgotten memory. On the contrary, is a truth alive in the heart, like an ember that can be rekindled. So let's reflect on this for a second. If every soul once declared yes to God, how should that shape my life today? Pause and ask, is this hidden yes still alive in me? God says in the Qur'an, فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا. The natural disposition, Fitra, upon which God has created humanity. Allamah Tabataba'i explains that the covenant is not about recalling a distant memory, but about the fitra, the pure nature within each human that knows its creator. No matter where one is born, this inner compass exists. It explains why, in moments of deep crisis or gratitude, people instinctively turn to the divine. فَإِذَا رَكِبُوا فِي الْفُلْكِ دَعَوْا اللَّهَ الْمُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ إِذَا هُمْ يُشْرِكُونَ. And when they board a ship, they call upon God, being sincere to Him in religion. But when He delivers them safely to land, they suddenly associate others with Him. This built-in recognition can be clouded by pride, neglect, or worldly distractions, but it never fully disappears. Reflect on this. If my soul knows its Lord by nature, how can I reconnect to that awareness daily? A quiet moment of gratitude or wonder can be enough to awaken the fitra within. God says in the Qur'an, أَن تَقُولُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّا كُنَّا أَنْ هَذَا غَافِلِينَ. Lest you should say on the day of resurrection, Indeed we were unaware of this. This testimony means ignorance is not a valid excuse. Tafsir al-Mīzān teaches us that even someone who never hears a lecture or reads a scripture carries within them a witness that points back to God. سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ. We will show them our signs in the horizon and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. God has placed signs in creation and within the souls, reminders that we belong to Him. Let's reflect on this. Am I living as if my inner witnesses matters, or am I covering it up with distractions. A sincere heart keeps this witness alive. God says in the Qur'an, Kun fayakun, be and it is. Allamah Tabataba'i explains the covenant connects to how creation itself works. From God's point of view, existence is immediate, be and it is. From our human experience, life unfolds gradually. We learn, we grow, we forget, and we remember. So the covenant bridges these two realities. In God's sight, our souls are known and witnessed. In our daily life, we are given time to rediscover and live by the truth. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, we belong to God, and to Him we shall return. Even if we don't recall the covenant in words, its effect shapes our journey back to Him. Reflect on this. How does my daily life show that I am returning to the one I testified long time ago? Each choice can either strengthen or weaken that link. God says in the Qur'an, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Whoever wills, let them believe, and whoever wills, let them disbelieve. Free will is indeed a mercy. We choose to honor the covenant or turn away. Tafsir al-Mīzān explains, to reawaken this testimony, we must 1. Reflect, notice the signs within and around us. 2. Purify, clear out distractions that veil the Fitra. And 3. Practice, prayer, gratitude, and sincere worship strengthen this living witness. Reflect on this. What one step can I take today to live closer to the ancient yes that my soul once gave? Start small. The heart knows the way. Finally, the verse of the covenant reminds us our bond with God is older than our birth. Every soul carries an innate awareness called the Fitra, and ignorance is no excuse. Signs are everywhere. Life is a journey to remember and return. Reflection and sincere devotion reawaken this witness in our hearts. May we live each day mindful of the yes our souls declared before we entered this world. Next week, we will explore a profound question. Where do all things come from? And why do we receive some gifts in abundance and others in measured amounts? Join me next week as we reflect on divine treasures and measured creation through the Tafsir of al-Mīzān. If you enjoyed this week's episode, consider subscribing, support the channel, reflect, and share your thoughts below. See you in the next episode of Reflection. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.